Hello, everybody, and welcome to my review of The Mandalorian Episode 1, Chapter 1. And that is actually the title of the show, Chapter 1, or the episode. They just call them chapters, which is pretty cool. I dig that. You don't have to have a name for it. So, The Mandalorian, it came out today on Disney Plus, which also started today. Amid a lot of problems. Apparently, there was so many people trying to watch it, it really bogged everything down, and I'm very, very, very surprised Disney didn't see this coming. But it seems to be getting better. It seems like everything's starting to work out now, so I was able to watch it, which is awesome. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Again, this is The Mandalorian, Episode 1, Chapter 1. There are spoilers. We're going to talk about the show, so if you haven't seen it, go watch it, and then come back, and we can talk about it. All right, guys. So, what is The Mandalorian, real quick, so we know? It's The Mandalorian. After the fall of the Empire, a lone gunfighter makes his way through the lawless galaxy, obviously collecting bounties because he's a bounty hunter. So let's talk about the episode. So what happened? So it starts off with him on a planet. He is obviously searching for a bounty. And he finds where he's got to go. He's got to go to this little small town ahead of him. The funny thing is about this, on as the show goes on, this is no spoiler right away, but they don't mention the planet's name. Any planet he goes to, they don't really mention the name of the planet. Sometimes when you see movies, they have a little blurb on the bottom saying what the planet is. Well, not here. They don't mention it at all. It's really strange. So, he goes to this town, and we go into the town, and we see these ruffians, three of them, messing up or roughing up a blue alien. I guess they're going to cut him up and use his parts. That's what I gathered out of it. But they were rudely interrupted by the Mandalorian as he came strolling or strutting through the door with that swag he has, which is really cool. You know, it's like the kind of swag that, like, yeah, I'm not messing with that guy. So they get mad. They all take a look at him. They're mad because apparently he spilled his drink. Somehow he spilled their drink. So I don't know how. I mean, that's how awesome he is, apparently. He can spill a drink all the way from the other side. So they get pissed and they surround him at the bar, which is really not a good idea. And you would think a Mandalorian, Mandalorians have this reputation, right? So why in the world would they think they could handle this guy? Oh, by the way, the weird alien, his tongue's out the whole time, which is weird. It's like, is it stuck that way, or he's just being weird? I don't know. So, needless to say, the Mandalorian decides, I've had enough of you, and starts whipping their butts. And boy, does he whip their butts. Big time. Seriously. And then we get that scene we see in the trailer where he shoots his grappling hook and nabs the dude who's trying to escape. The dude gets pulled inside as the door's shutting, and, well, we go halvesies. So he heads over to the blue alien, and he's thanking him, but little does he realize, whammo, he is the target. He is the bounty. He's the one that the Mandalorian is going after. So the Mandalorian, he's trying to bribe him and everything, and the Mandalorian goes, look, I can bring you in warm, I can bring you in cold. Well, I'm pretty sure you know which he picked. He did not want to go in cold, so he picked warm. So they head off over the ice to what I assume is a futuristic taxi cab place, because he blows his whistle and this taxi cab comes up. And it comes up with a droid driving the land speeder, or snow speeder, if you will. And the Mandalorian's having none of it because apparently he doesn't like droids. So he does his whistly thing and he takes off, and another one comes up and comes up with a guy driving this rickety, messed up one. And the guy's Brian Posehn, I think his name is. He's been on a Big Bang Theory, Deadly Class, and a lot of other stuff. I'm like, hey, I know that guy. So he's their driver. So he drives them over to his ship, which is awesome looking. I love the way his ship looks. All dirty and messed up and looks like it's been through heck. So they get off there, and he tells them as he's leaving to be careful for the Ravanax, which gets the blue alien like, what? So the blue alien's watching him take off. Just, like, why did he say that? And then all of a sudden, something attacks and destroys the snow speeder / land speeder, which he assumes is a Ravanax. So they take off running to the ship. The Mandalorian pulls them away just in time for a giant Ravanax to grip onto the ship. Now, the Ravanax looks like a cross between a walrus and an alligator. That's as close as I get. That's exactly what it looks like, a cross between them. So he's hooked on the ship, and the Mandalorian's like, I can't take off without this sucker stuck on the ship, so I gotta get him off. So sure enough, he comes out, and he's not even breaking a sweat, just zaps the crap out of the thing. And he lets go, and they take off into this space. So as they're driving around there, he's trying to make the aliens trying to make small talk with the Mandalorian. He's having none of it, and he decides, well, I gotta go to the bathroom. You don't want to see me go to the bathroom, in not so many words, but that kind of alien species apparently is pretty gross. So he takes off down into the hole. Mandalorian's fine with it, and he's actually snooping around. It looks like he's trying to find something to get himself out of the situation, as far as I can tell. And as he's snooping around, he runs into a whole bunch of carbonite characters that are frozen, that bounties that he got. And he's like, well, I see where this is going. And sure enough, the Mandalorian finds him and is like, yeah, pretty much, that's what's going to happen to you. And bam! Sure enough, he is carbonite, blue carbonite alien. So that's it for him. So it's a nice peaceful ride off to the next planet, again, which we don't know what these planets are called. No idea. So he heads into another seedy bar. And I love the way these bars look. These bars look awesome. Lots of different aliens, just nasty looking. It's not clean. It's dirty. You know, it's the kind of bar that you're like, man, you better know how to handle yourself if you go into this place. So he heads into the bar, and he meets with Carl Weathers' character, Greaves. And he is the head of the Mandalorian, the Bounty Hunters Guild. And he tells them, hey, he actually says, did you catch them all? And for a second, I was thinking Pokemon? And I was hoping beyond all hope, that he was going to drop off some little Pokemon balls. But he didn't do it. Damn it. I was very sad about that. So he tells them about this job, and it's a really undercover job, the kind of job that's, well, there's only a chit that he can give them, and that's it. That's all he can give them. Some kind of, it's so undercover. So he has to take that shit and go to, it's CHIT, just so you know, I'm not cursing. So he takes that shit and it tells him where to go. So he heads down through the town, and he finds a place where he has to go, where he has to meet up with whoever is putting up this bounty. It's a really dark and nasty looking place. As he opens one of the doors, there are a bunch of stormtroopers sitting in there. But not your clean, fancy looking stormtroopers. These guys look dirty and nasty. And there's Werner Herzog's character. There he is, in all his glory. Now I'm thinking he's some kind of like a underworld kind of character, some kind of boss, I imagine. So he's talking to him about, you're the guy Greaves sent us. And as they're talking, and you can see as they're talking that the stormtroopers look nasty. I love the way they look. They just look like they're just not happy campers. In walks in the doctor, which scares the holy heck out of the bounty hunter. He's thinking it's a trap, and they all pull their guns, which is a really cool scene. And they're, he's telling them to put their guns down first. After Herzog told him to put his gun down, and Mandalorian says they put their gun down first, and they go like, it's 4-1. He goes, I like those odds. And I'm like, man, this dude's a bad dude. So they all calm down. They sit down, and he shows him this thing. It's some kind of, it's called Beskar. It's like a metal. Apparently, it's extremely, extremely, extremely valuable, and it's I guess part of his payment. And he has a whole bunch more for completion of the job, is what it is. And so they go through their negotiations, and sure enough, he takes the job, because apparently this stuff is really valuable. So he's going through the town, through the bazaar, if you will, and I don't know what the character is called in Jabba the Hutt, that little monkey character, but they're eating one. They're cooking it. And as they're cooking it, there's another one in a cage watching. Now, I thought these things had some kind of sentient. I mean, they're sentient. Sentient, yeah. That they actually could think. I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, it's like, holy cow. That's pretty nasty. So, but I like the way that the bazaar is, again, really gritty, dirty. I like the way it looks. So as he goes into this, like, another, like, kind of like hideout kind of place. And there's a bunch of Mandalorians. A whole bunch of them. And I'm like, what is this? It's like a secret society of Mandalorians. The little Mandalorians running all over the place. And he goes into this one room and he sits, and there is a Mandalorian woman. Apparently, I think she's like the blacksmith. And he gives her the Beskar that he got, and they melt it. And as they melt it, he's having these flashbacks of, I guess, when he was a kid. he's hugging his mom, and they're running together. His mom, and his father. And there's that scene where he's reaching out, and he's reaching to his parents who are putting him in this, like, I guess, hole to protect him. And they cover it up, and I guess they never see him again. As he's thinking about that, she makes him a new shoulder pad. And I guess it's a really good one because that stuff's really valuable. So I'm thinking it's hard to penetrate that stuff. So that's pretty cool. So he puts it on, and he takes off to another no-name planet we have no idea about. And he's got his nice, shiny little new shoulder pad on. And he's flying through another desert planet. And it actually looks pretty cool. It looks very similar to like what Tatooine was. So he lands there, and he starts to scout the area. And he's scouting, and he sees these things called blurgs. And there's a small one there. And as he's looking, a giant one somehow sneaks up on him. How? I don't know. I thought these Mandalorians were really good, and they couldn't really sneak. But this giant blurg sneaks up on him. He has to fight it. Well, it bites his arm, so he grabs him. And he's pulling him around. He's bopping it in the eye over and over and over again. And all of a sudden, this dart comes out of nowhere and shocks the blurg. Knocks it out. So he's laying there with his blurg still chomped on his arm. And as he looks up, here comes another blurg. I guess that was his friend. He didn't much like it. So he's like, oh, crap. I'm doomed. And sure enough, another dart hits it. From nowhere. You don't even know where it's coming from. And knocks out the blurg. And he's like, okay. You can see the darts there. And he's like, who just saved me? And this funky-looking alien on a blurg rides up. And I think it's Nick Nolte's character, I believe. And so he tells him to follow him, come along. And and he always finishes off with, I'm done speaking. I have spoken. That's just, he says it a few times, which is kind of funny. So they head back to his camp. And they're in his little hut, and he's talking to them about these other people who are there, bad guys, I guess, and he knows that's who you're going after. He's going after, and they negotiate something about, well, what do you want? And he goes, well, I want half. He goes, half the bounty. That's a lot for just guiding me. He goes, no, half the bergs. So then he goes, you can have them all. And he goes, no, you're gonna need to ride one. So he's like, I've never ridden one. Well, guess what? We have a learning to ride montage. So the Mandalorian has to learn to ride. So immediately you can see him on the floor. And he's not doing too well, which is really cool. I like the fact that he can't do everything great. I love characters who are flawed, who can't do everything perfectly. He almost got killed by the blurgs, which is cool, which is not cool. But still, he can be taken out, and he can't ride a blurg for nothing. So he finally is able to gather himself, and the other alien, which I never got his name. He basically tells him, you guys rode animals before back in the ancient days. Your ancestors did. So he starts, I guess becoming the blurg whisperer, and he learns how to ride the blurg. The blurgs are funny looking. That's got to be the most uncomfortable thing to ride around. There's no saddle. It's just bopping up and down. It looks like a piranha with legs. That's what it looks like, a piranha with legs. So they head off and to try to find the camp he's going to guide them to the camp to where he's got to get his bounty. So they get there and they say their goodbyes. And the Mandalorian he is scoping out the camp. He's checking it out. It's just some kind of dirty little looks like a Tatooine kind of little hut place or whatever. And as he's looking through his binoculars, there comes the robot. The bounty hunter robot. Now they don't give him his name. He doesn't get his name. He just calls it a bounty hunting robot, a robot bounty hunter. And he's like, oh crap. There goes the element of surprise. Because he comes up and he's just demanding. Oh, by the way, that's Taika Waititi's character. He's demanding that they release the bounty to him, and of course they don't. So he decides to go off, and boy, does he go off! I'm telling you, man, he starts shooting up the place, and these guys are just scrambling for their lives, and they all head indoors, and there's bodies laying all over the place, and he's just standing there. He's like, all right, y'all need to come out with the guy because I can do this all day. So the bounty comes out. Mandalorian comes out and he's like, hey man, you need to stop doing it. And he gets shot by the robot. IG-88, I think it is. I'm not too sure. And he's like, wait a minute, I'm part of the guild. And the robot's like, I didn't know there was somebody else on this job. And he goes, yeah, I am. And he goes, I didn't know it either. So they decide let's work together. We have to work together to do this. That now that the Element surprise over, because there's a lot of guys, and lo and behold, the gunfight starts again. And boy, is it ever a gunfight. They are going off. There's aliens all over the place. There's gunshots all over the place. The robot's swinging his arms all over the place. The Mandalorian's taking cover, and they're just dodging everything you can imagine. It is one heck of a gunfight. It's great. It's wonderful to see. I love seeing it. It's probably the best gunfight I've seen in Star Wars in a long time, if ever. So they're teamed up and trying to figure out how to get this darn friggin' thing, this asset, which we don't know what it is yet. I mean, and they're just running through this town. They get cornered, and the robot decides, well, I got to self-destruct because I can't get caught. He goes, no. He goes, what are you doing? No. He goes, let's just cover me. So he's covering them as he's trying to open the door. Doesn't seem to work. They try because it's just too much firepower coming at him. He has to duck back in. I'm really surprised the robot didn't get hit more. So they bring in this giant gun. They come out and look at it and they're like, yeah, no, that's not good. And it just opens up on the pillar that they're hiding behind. I mean, this just going off. And, of course, the robot's like, I'm going to self-destruct. He's like, no, stop it. So it's just cover me. So he goes, I'm going to get this thing. So sure enough, the robot goes off the cover, and he gets all shot up as he's going, because that's too much gunpower. And as he does, the Mandalorian comes out, shoots his grappling hooks, pulls the guy out, or moves the gun, and he's able to shoot the guy, jump on the gun, and starts wailing on these other guys. God, I mean, just shooting them all up. I mean, just gunfire everywhere. It looks pretty cool. It honestly looks really cool. And I mean, they're just dropping from the roofs of the buildings. And when he's done, well, there's pretty much no one else around there. Everyone's dead. Everybody's on the ground, or it's a couple people on the roof. I mean, it's like he's just looking around like, okay. So he helps up the robot, which is not dead. IG-88, I'm pretty sure that's who it is. And he helps him up, and he's like, man, I'm really surprised that he didn't get more beat up. And then they can take damage. They can take damage. So they got to work together to get this asset. They decide they're going to split the bounty and so forth. So they got to figure out how to get through the door. So how are they going to get through the door? Oh, they have an idea. As they both look at the gun. And they shoot that gun on that door, and they bust that door down. They stroll in like bosses. I mean, they look so cool just strolling in. They kill this one guy who was hiding in the corner, which, yeah, that was happening. So they find that it's there. The bounty is in there. And they find it's in apparently a small little round ball, which is like, okay. And they hear a noise coming. So they open it. And he goes, I thought the bounty or whatever it was, the target was 50 years old. And the robot, the IG-88, I think it is. I don't want to say the wrong name, but he's saying, no, different species age differently. And it's a Yoda. It's a little baby Yoda. That surprised the tar out of me. They really kept that really well secret. I'm like, oh my gosh, this could be really cool. A baby Yoda. So the IG-88's like, well, I got to kill it. And he's like, no. He goes, no, let's keep it alive. He goes, nope, because my mandate says I've got to kill it. That's my bounty. And sure enough, he shoots the gun. Thing is, it wasn't IG-88. It was the Mandalorian. He's like, you're not going to shoot this little baby Yoda. There's no way. So he's able to take the Yoda, and they touch little fingers. It's like a little tender moment. And I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's because of money, if he felt bad or what, but that's kind of odd. But maybe he has a code or something like that. I don't know. But that's where the episode ends. So, what did I think of it? I really, really liked it. I thought it was excellent. I thought it was a really, really well done show. I love the grit of it. I love how the stormtroopers look like crap. They're all dirty. I like how the ship is all messed up. I like the taxi, the scene that was pretty cool. There's a really nice one, a really crappy one. I love seeing stuff like that. The bars were dirty and seedy, and you're like, at any moment you can get killed in there or something like that, which is awesome. Not get killed, but I mean, it's just the feeling of it. That I love that. I love that feeling of it. I love the way there was a bunch of different aliens there. I love how you have these characters that are just, you don't know anything about them, and that's what's so great about it. There's not a single character that was in a movie or a cartoon at all. I'm pretty sure down the line they'll probably end up doing it. I love the one alien that helped out the Mandalorian, Busey's character. Was it Busey? Gary Busey, yeah, his character. I thought it was great. I thought he was he was. I have spoken. It's like okay, so yeah, and the surprise of a little baby Yoda at the end, that really just like wow. And I love. I almost forgot. I love how the Mandalorian IG-88, I'm pretty sure his name is, worked together, and the interaction between them was really good. And he's not dead, folks. He's not. Taika Waititi said he has a really good story arc, so he's not dead. Just so we know. Just so people are like, he's dead. No, he's not. He's not dead. But I love their interaction. I can't wait to see what happens when they meet up again. That's going to be fantastic. And again, the Baby Yoda. That's so cool. I can't wait to find out more about it. Where did the Baby Yoda come from? That's awesome. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm excited about more questions. There's a lot of questions. They show his past. How did he become a man? Is he really a Mandalorian? They say he is, but is he? Were they Mandalorians when they got killed? His parents? Are they Mandalorians? That's who they are. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see where this goes and how it takes. I can't wait for the second episode. Can't get here fast enough. And I hope you guys enjoyed this review of The Mandalorian, Episode 1, Chapter 1. Well, we're just calling it chapters from now on. The Mandalorian, Chapter 1. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you all are watching it. Discuss it with me. Talk about it. Tell me what you like, what you didn't like. I didn't really dislike anything, really. I thought it was pretty cool. So leave a like if you like what you saw, and subscribe to continue on watching my reviews of The Mandalorian, and I will see you again, folks, on another episode. Bye-bye!